What's up, everybody? This is Nick here over at NJ's Bricks, and I've got a pretty awesome video today. This is going to be the first part in an undetermined number of parts series about a large collection that I bought recently. Today we're just going to take a look at the Star Wars figures I received, talk a little bit about the collection, and then we'll take an up-close look at some of my favorites. So as you can see here, I've got all the figures bagged up and labeled. The reason being that this collection came with nearly every booklet for all the sets that they had purchased over the years, and all the minifigures from all of these sets were just in a large bin together. So I pulled out everything that I could tell was Star Wars, and then I kind of went through the different sets, that I suspected to be there because of the booklets, and matched up the figures from the bin with the figures in the booklets, and I was able to figure out what most everything was. We'll look at some of them here just quickly, and then we'll take a closer in-depth look at the figures that I like the most. So you can see you've got some Jar Jar here, some old Qui-Gons. We've got a Gungan soldier there in green. We've got some Chewbacca. A lot of different stuff aging back as much as 20 years. Original sets from like Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, like when those movies were coming out, which is cool. That was long before I was into Star Wars at all. I just got into Star Wars during the pandemic recently, and big fan obviously, but yeah, you can just see a ton of different stuff. Some incomplete figures. One of them of note here is Zam Wesell from set 7133, the Bounty Hunter Pursuit. I have everything but the head and the helmet, and then in my collection I have another torso of this figure, but I can't seem to complete it. Hopefully eventually I get the rest of the pieces and I end up with a couple of complete Zams. See, we've got an old Yoda here, some interesting stuff. I like this Obi-Wan here as well. He's got a headset on there. Most of these yellow head figures just... it's funny the differences between what they were able to do between body printing and face printing. A lot of these face printings are just very bland, but that's why I like this stuff like this Obi-Wan that actually has something going on there. Another thing that I got with this collection was a lot of these sets were mostly complete and like in Ziploc bags and whatnot. So I'm unsure which of these figures are going to end up in my store individually, and which of them are going to end up going with their sets so that I can sell them complete. I'm going to have to do some more investigating there. If you're interested in seeing videos of some of the complete sets, leave a comment down below. There's definitely some other themes like Indiana Jones and Harry Potter and whatnot, and I may do some videos with some whole sets rather than just the figures. But anyways, let's take a closer look at some of the figures that I really enjoyed from this haul. So here we have Mace Windu with dark tan legs from set 75199, General Grievous' combat speeder. Fairly basic torso printing, but it's nice that it continues through the hip and the leg so that it's overall a pretty good looking figure. Also included in that set is General Grievous, bent legs with white armor. And I've equipped him with some lightsabers here because, of course, that's how Grievous would, that's what he'd be rocking if you ran into him. This is a pretty awesome looking figure. I think my favorite of the versions of Grievous. This is Poe Dameron. He comes from set 75188 Resistance Bomber. Fairly basic, nothing too remarkable about this figure, but it still looks reasonably nice. Not so sure how much I like the hair piece on this figure, but it's a decent fit for Poe. This is Resistance Bomber Nix Jerd, and I just love the amount of detail that comes on the helmets of these different Resistance Bombers in this set. They all have a really nice torso and leg printings, but it's the helmets that really make these figures stand out. This one's awesome. It just great yellow visor that's, molded or set into the piece, not one of the clip-on ones. So it just looks a lot nicer as a two-tone with the silver, and these are just really awesome helmets. Much better than the standard fare. And last, a similar helmet with the molded in yellow visor, but much different graphics. Same two-tone silver on the back. As you can see, there are two printings on the heads of these figures. I guess I could have swapped one around to show you the mask side, but pretty awesome figures. And there's also a Vice Admiral Holdo here that came with the set. And it's kind of an unremarkable figure other than that hairpiece, which I think just looks awesome. The torso printing is basic, but overall the hairpiece brings a lot to the figure, and it's a nice one. So here we have Kylo Ren from set 75179, Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. I think this is an awesome figure. I think the torso printing is great. The special lightsaber piece is pretty sweet, and the printing on his face that shows the scar is also awesome. Along with this figure in the set is this First Order TIE pilot with 2 red stripes on helmet, and this guy's awesome too. Special molded helmet with like this extra hose piece that comes down to the torso, which just makes it unique from other TIE pilots in the past that may have had that printed on the torso instead. And this is the little BB-9E droid that also comes with this set, and it's a cool little take on the BB droid that we know and love in BB-8. This is Boba Fett with an orange stripe on his pauldron with the fabric pauldron here, and it comes from the carbon freezing chamber, set 75137. This is a great figure with some awesome printing, a great jetpack piece, helmet, just everything's awesome. Toe printing even on this guy. And in that set also comes this Han, which is basically as unremarkable as the Boba is awesome. I really don't understand how they can get ready to put this set out, have these two figures side by side, and be like, yeah, that Han is like totally reasonable. This is the Ugnaught that comes with this set, and I think he's awesome. He's got a custom molded head with some printing on it, some great overall printing on both sides of the torso and the short legs. I think this is a really awesome figure, and one of the cooler ones from this set in my opinion. And this is very similar Boba Fett to the last one, but it doesn't have the orange stripe on the pauldron. It's also missing his jetpack, so he's looking a little naked there. And this comes from set 9496, the Desert Skiff. It also came with 3 other figures. One of them here is Kithaba, and I assume this is just like one of the kind of guard, figures from the scene, but I don't really remember. It's a neat little figure. I really dislike how bright the pants look in comparison to the more dull head cap color, but it's okay. Nice face printing. This is Luke in his kind of dark bluish gray robes, the ones that he goes into Jabba's palace in at the beginning of episode 6. It's a pretty basic head and hair piece, but I do like the torso. It's different from other Lukes. This is a great figure. Lando Calrissian in the skiff guard outfit, with this custom, helmet mask piece here that covers up his face. Great representation of, the movie mask, and a really awesome figure, in my opinion. This is Plo Kun from 8093, Plo Kun's Jedi Starfighter, and it's another custom molded headpiece figure, which I always appreciate. It's from kind of a lighter rubber that has a little wiggle to it, which is, fitting, I suppose, for the actual characters, the way the character would feel in real life. And then this is the Astromech R7d4 that comes with Plo Kun's Jedi Starfighter, and I just think it's a neat little guy, same style as R2D2, but totally different color setup here, and a nice little astromech. Similar to that, we have another version of the R series, an R5D4. This guy looking a little bit more like our guy R2, but it has red markings on the front and around the top. This mech came with set 7262 TIE Fighter and Y-Wing, and another awesome figure that came with this set is Darth Vader. This is an older version of Vader. The newer ones actually have a piece that goes underneath the head that kind of completes the mask and makes it so you can't see his neck at all. But I really like the look of this one where it's all molded into the helmet piece. A really nice effort by the Lego company on this one, and some nice body printing. This is a different version of Grievous, an old school one. I think it's kind of hilarious looking, but I do like that it has this custom cape right here that has the printing on it. I think that's a pretty special part of it, even if the rest of it looks a little bit ridiculous. This right here is a Geonosian with wings. That came from set 447A Geonosian Fighter, and this one's just super awesome. These wings like this and the plastic piece is just so it's so different than you get on so many kind of figures. You don't usually get an accessory like that. This right here is Anakin from set 7113 Tuscan Raider Encounter. He's got an awesome little the Jedi braid there printed onto his torso, which I think is pretty sweet. It's hilarious that this set is called Tuscan Raider Encounter. It'd be more accurate to call it the Tuscan Raider Massacre or the Tuscan Raider Genocide. But Encounter is, from a certain point of view, that's certainly something that occurred when Anakin went there. I love this Tuscan Raider figure. Great printing on the face, really detailed. And I kind of like it more than the new molded ones. This right here is Wicket from set 7139 Ewok Attack, and it's just funny how back then they really didn't have the ability to print at all on these custom molded pieces, so you just get the one solid color, but the detail in the molding is really amazing, so it shines through. And here also on Paploo, similar situation. No printing to differentiate colors on this custom mold, but there's enough detail that it really makes the figure. The contrast here between the molding and the body underneath is nice on this Paploo as well. Lastly here from set 7186 of Watto's Junkyard, this is all Darbito, one piece. This is a pretty expensive figure, and I wouldn't have probably even noticed him amongst all these other figures if it wasn't for the one that came in this set with it, which is Watto. Look at that big boy. Another one of these custom molded figures. Really incredible molding. This is a very expensive figure. It's from like 2001, I believe, and just really, I think it's awesome. Definitely one of the best of the lot, not just because it's expensive. And the last figure I'm showing here is Anakin with Light Up Lightsaber. Unfortunately, I could not find the Obi-Wan that came to battle against Anakin with his own light up saber, but pretty cool to get one of these because I've never actually seen one before in person, and it does still work alright. Comment below with what your favorite figure was. I think I most liked the Boba Fett's, the Tuscan Raider, and the Watto looks pretty amazing. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you with another time-lapse video on Sunday.